fact, I was hoping I could tell you how well things are going. So, I've got this business.
Every time you feel exhilaration, we know. We know they're going well, sometimes before you even know they're going well, but we really like it when you know they're going well. So you wanted to tell us that you know they're going well, and we already knew they were going well, but we like hearing it from you because we like you knowing that they're going well. Yeah.
I realized they were going well for a long time before I realized they were going well. And my business,
That's the most important statement of this day. Well-being has been surrounding me even in my ignorance of it.
Yeah. Yes. And so the business, I was afraid I might not be able to come today because the business that I have, we're expanding the space and we're able to break through the back wall and double the space. I mean, what were the odds of that? And I'm
100%, but but then that's just us. We've got a sort of special point of view.
It's just so and things are going so well. I had a show of my work. You know, I checked the bank account, got $15,000 in the bank account, and it's just, you know, when I started with you 15 years ago, I would listen to the tape, and they were tapes back then, and be good for 15 minutes, and it's like a slow flat tire. And now things are going so much better, and I've got 120 hours of people being helped a week with neurofeedback. And I'm just running it, and I'm there about 3 hours a week. And I'm able to do my artwork. I'm able to do these other projects.
Are you explaining to us that through your connection, you've leveraged your time in a productive way?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was so looking forward to telling you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I'm wondering is, some people don't get back to me, and I'm not sure at a certain point, should I call them up and go, you know, you said it was 2 weeks, it's been 6 weeks, you know, where are we at?
The question that you want to ask yourself is, what influence are you under when you notice they haven't called you back?
Well, here's where I'm at.
Well, now we ask you a question. We think you should answer.
I'm not sure how to answer.
Well, if you flash back on that feeling of wanting to call someone, was it from a place of anxiety or from a place of eagerness? You can tell by the way you feel what influence you're under when you want to make the call.
Yeah.
Is it shortage consciousness, or is it anticipating wonderful things? Is it about your desire to co-create with them, or is it about irritation or even concern?
Irritation.
Yeah, so don't call them.
Okay.
Because no good's going to come from that. You'll just make them defensive and make them explain things and make them practice not calling you longer in their vibration. Interesting that you're bringing this up. We want to give this to you because sometimes an example, it fleshes things out in a powerful way. So Esther heard from someone who heard it from someone who heard it from someone that her man who cleans her swimming pool on the property where the offices are in Texas hadn't been coming, and it was a problem. And the person who talked to the person who talked to the person was wondering if they should look for someone else. This information came to Esther while she was flying high. She had such a sense of well-being that was surrounding her that when that information came to her, it didn't come directly from a person. It was diffused because it came from this person who had heard it from this person who had heard it from this person. And so it was just this little soft light thing. So Esther just hung up the phone and touched his number on her iPhone and got his voice message, and she said, "Hey, it's Esther. I haven't talked to you in a long time. I understand that you haven't been around for a little while, and that's okay. That magnificent pool is promoting itself pretty well, but just want to make sure everything's good with you. Give me a call when you got a minute to talk, and all's good here." 8 minutes later, he called her back and expressed to her what was going on, which was completely understandable. Esther said, well, no worries, you'll get it back together. We've been having this experience long enough. Just get over there and get some chemicals in it so that we don't lose our balance, and then tend to the rest of it when you get a chance. And so everything's back on track. Now what we're getting at is the light touch that Esther offered. She wasn't worried, she wasn't mad, she wasn't disappointed. She wasn't trying to get any strong behavior from him. She just was making contact just to renew their positive relationship. You see what we're getting at?
Yeah.
But it was easy for her to do that because she was all tuned in, tapped in, turned on anyway. She wouldn't be able to do anything else. And isn't it nice that the universe brings information to you in meaningful times when you're feeling like that, so that the inspiration, in other words, every word out of Esther's mouth, they talked for 45 minutes. And he said, this is the best conversation I've ever had. I wish that I'd called you 2 months ago. Esther's never had a conversation with him. That's not the kind of relationship they have. He drives up, she waves. She doesn't even usually go outside. She gives him thumbs up. He does his thing, he goes. They don't have a relationship, except that they both have mutual love and appreciation for the balance of her swimming pool. So what was that all about? That was not just about the chemical balance in the pool. This was about the vibrational balance between them. It was also about the vibrational balance in him. So what better opportunity for someone to help somebody with their vibrational balance than when you are in perfect vibrational balance? You see what we're getting at?
Yes.
So the moral of this story is, never call anyone when you're in a bad mood. Never call anyone when you have awareness that you have a problem. Never call anyone. Never talk to anyone from a place of disappointment, because they're probably staying away from you because they already know you're disappointed. Maybe not in a business relationship of sales so much, but certainly in a relationship of employees or family or loved ones. If someone who wants to be tuned in, tapped in, turned on, which is 100% of you, has an awareness that you're a little disappointed in them in some way, they don't want to have a conversation with you where your disappointment is enhanced. So get yourself into the place that you know you want to feel, and feel it and feel it and feel it and feel it until the universe hooks you up and gives you both what you want. Doesn't that make perfect sense in light of what you know? What's going on in your minds? Are you thinking about the relationships that you could improve by first improving your relationship with your inner being? It's powerful. We don't believe that any of you would go into your great big carpeted room and vacuum it or use your vacuum contraption without first plugging it in. You could go through the motions. You could run that thing all over the place. You could leave tracks everywhere, and anybody watching you from outside with no sound would say, ooh, really doing a good job on that carpet. Getting down everywhere, moving all the chairs, vacuuming everywhere. But if you haven't plugged it in, you're not getting the job done. And that's how it is with your relationship with source energy. If you're not plugged into that, you're not getting the job done that you intend.
Good point. I was having a meeting somebody on Monday, and he doesn't return his phone calls. And I want to give him this nice piece of business, but sometimes he doesn't return phone calls for 3 days.
You know what? The people that are the busiest are those that you most want to be in business with. In other words, if somebody is just sitting around waiting for somebody to call them so that they can call them back, they might not have a lot going on. But somebody who's got a lot going on is someone that when you partner up, they're going to focus with you. Don't make up stuff to support your worry. Make up stuff to support your desire. Haven't you heard the expression? We know you've lived it. If you want something done, find a busy person and ask them to do it. Don't ask somebody that doesn't have anything to do it. They won't get around to that either. And so he doesn't return his phone calls. It may be because he wants to make the calls. It may be that he wants to get all of his ducks in a row first. It may be that he's waiting for more inspiration. It may be that he's not tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and he's not feeling inspiration from source, and so this isn't a good time for you to rendezvous with him. It may be that your inner being's talking to his inner being, and your inner being is telling his inner being, wait until he's in a good mood and then ask him to answer this call. We're not kidding. Do you want somebody to call you and say, oh yeah, I've been meaning to get back to you? No. The answer to your question is no. If you push someone for an answer before they are in alignment and before they're ready to give you something that they want, they will always tell you no. Give them a chance to say yes, which means give them a chance to line up. But there's this thing that humans do, and we love you so much. We don't mean humans, we mean humans. We mean it's this thing that humans do, especially in sales, where you believe that you want to get hold of someone and you want to hold them tight, because if you don't hold them tight, they're going to wiggle away from you and you're going to lose your opportunity. That's the basis of what most people believe in sales. And you know what that really is? The more you hold them, the more they squirm to get away, because what they really want is the freedom to choose. And when you've got an intention for someone and you hold them tight, they want to wiggle away. They'll wait to return. They'll wait. The attitude that you want to have about that is that I have something so good for you that's going to enhance your experience so much, and when the timing is right for you, I know that we'll make contact, and meanwhile I wish you well in whatever it is that you've got going on.
Okay.
Don't you know that from yourself? Have you ever had somebody after you to make a decision? Doesn't matter who it is. Maybe it's a lover. When someone's after you for a decision that you're not ready to make, don't you want to run from them? Don't you tend to give them lip service? Don't you make up stuff? My dog ate my homework kind of stuff. You just make stuff up. But if you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and you're in vibrational alignment with your inner being and therefore with their inner being, when the timing's right, you'll get the impulse. They might only be in a good mood 1 hour out of every day. That's when the impulse will hit you to call them. But if you're worried about them not returning your call and you feel like you should call them, you'll call them at a bad time every time, and you should see their phone. You should see all the people they don't call back. And it's not personal. It's what overwhelmment feels like. It's everybody wanting something from me that I'm not ready to give. That's what that feels like. But everybody has desires, and everybody has desires that could dovetail with yours. You just got to give them a chance to know it, you see. Yeah. Play with that. You're going to like it so much. You'll find yourself saying to people, yeah, I was going to call you back, but I just didn't feel like it. And they'll say, I beg your pardon? Yeah, I kept feeling like I should call you, and then I realized it's because I was worried about you, or I was disappointed or something. And so I've got in the habit of never calling anyone unless it feels like a really good idea to call them. And so it's been a few months, but here I am. They'll laugh, they'll get it, and they'll say, yeah, I've been really busy. I broke my foot, or I went bankrupt and now I've recovered. Or. Yeah. Enough?
I think so. Can I fine tune in any way that I'm not aware of? Things seem to be going really well. I'm just wondering, since we're both here.
Yeah, you're trying too hard.
Okay.
You're a little too action-oriented.
All right.
You're not operating only from inspiration. Okay. You're operating out of habit of what good businessmen do. Some of it's good advice to yourself and some of it isn't. But all of it falls under the umbrella of trying a little bit too hard. And what that falls under the umbrella of is wanting to be productive and effective and a good businessman, rather than wanting to be happy and free and flowing and experiencing the assistance of the universe. And what that's under the umbrella of is, I need to prove myself to someone, as compared to those that I don't need to present a good image to already love me. Hear that? If you're trying to perform for the accolades of others who might watch you, humans do that all the time, but your inner being is not asking for that from you. And it's hard for you to make that transition. It's hard to accept that my inner being adores me no matter what.